Hello everyone, my name is Fedro and this is Cozy Fedgy, and on this channel we cover a variety of things such as video essays, reviews, JRPGs, and all things cozy gaming. Now I know it's been a hot minute since you've seen my face on this channel. I've been super swamped with schoolwork and with part-time work as well, so I really haven't had the time to sit down and film and to script content, and I really want to just apologize for that. With the holidays coming up and again with the end of the semester now finally wrapped up, I'm officially on winter break, so I definitely have a lot of time to film and make content consistently, at least for the next month or so. I just want to thank you guys so much for waiting for me to make more content. I know there's a lot more newer subscribers here, so hello. Thank you so much for taking the time to subscribe to my channel. But yes, I'll be continuing to make content. I'm not gone. I just took a little unintentional break just due to the hecticness of other things going on in my life. But either way, I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys about all the fun games that I played this year. I wanted to do a whole wrap up of all the games that I completed this year. But if you guys don't know, I made a whole mid-year check-in of all the games that I played back in July, and since then I've only completed one game, so I felt it would kind of be redundant to just do the same video I did back in July, adding just one game. So to make things fun and spice it up, I decided to make this end of the year video game tag where I just talk about all the fun games that I played, whether there be games that I loved and made me warm my game of the year, some games I didn't love and dropped, some hidden gems, and as well as to talk about the games that I'm highly anticipating for the coming year. So without further ado, let's get into the questions. Also, if you guys enjoy the content here, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe. Also, if you enjoy these questions or think there's a fun and want to answer some of these questions on the comment down below or to make a video of your own, I will include all of the questions in the description box below. That way you can take a part as well on this tag, which would be a lot of fun. So the first question was, what was your absolute favorite game you played this year? And I kind of had to cheat with this one, and I had to pick two because they're from the same franchise, and that is Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure. If you guys don't know, earlier this year I completed the duology or the crossbow duology Trails and Kiseki series. I've been playing the series since January 2023. This was a franchise that got me starting a YouTube channel. I wanted to really dive into this franchise because if you are a JRPG lover, there are many people who acclaim this as one of the best JRPG franchises ever made. They have really good storytelling, world building, great characters, and what's really cool about this franchise is it tells a story throughout a span of I think now 11 or 12 games. And I know it's kind of daunting and there's a lot of different starting points to this game, and the crossbow duology is a great place to start. I do recommend starting there if you are kind of worried about where to start. I think it is a good starting point. I did not start there. I started off with the very first game in the Trails series, which was Trails in the Sky. But either way, that's not here there. What I'm here to talk about is the two games, the Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure. I started these games back early in, I want to say January of this year, and absolutely loved my time. What was really great about these two games, we got to start off with a fresh new cast of characters in Crossbow, which is another region in the whole continent of Zemeria, and we get to follow them and their character development and where their role plays into the big overarching picture of the Trails series. The Kiseki franchise is a long-running franchise that has captured the hearts of many, including myself, and these two games are definitely my highlight of this year for sure. So the next question is, which game surprised you the most, either positively or negatively? And when I think of an answer for this, I have to pick Cult of the Lamb. Now, if you don't know, Cult of the Lamb is a roguelike action RPG with life sim elements in it. You pretty much follow and play as a cute and adorable lamb who happens to be possessed by a demonic being who then therefore creates a cult, and your whole premise and point of the game is to gain more followers, make sure that they're all well fed, taken care of, cleaned up after, while also trying to figure out what's going on in the whole realm of the world and stuff. I absolutely loved my time with Cult of the Lamb. It was a really quick game. I think I finished it around 8 to 9 hours. It was my very first ever roguelike, and I definitely did not regret it. I played it on my Steam Deck and had a blast playing it. Again, what was really interesting about it is that the combat is not too challenging. There are difficulty settings, so you can go in as easy, especially as someone who's new to the genre, or go as difficult and go ham and go on like hardest difficulty if this is a genre that you're very familiar with. And the life sim aspects are really fun. Being able to control my followers, whether that be helping building certain encampments in the camp, or having them go on off journeys, or punishing them for not, worshiping hard enough. Or the funniest part was definitely cleaning up their poop. They love to poop. Those people poop, or as animals, poop like crazy. I did not expect that going into this game, but I had a blast nonetheless playing this game. I highly recommend for those who are very interested or curious about the roguelike genre. I definitely do think Cult of the Lamb is a great introductory to the genre. The next question is, which game did you sink the most hours into this year? And this is a pretty easy question for me, and that is Genshin Impact. I know it's a gacha game, it's free to play, yada yada yada. You can have your qualms about it, or if you're a fan of it, awesome. I've been playing Genshin Impact pretty much on and off for about, I want to say 2 to 3 years. 3 years? I've been playing it since 2021. I took quite a long break, almost a year-long break from the game, and then I picked it up, I want to say around April, summertime this year, and I had a blast catching up on all the regions and characters and quests that I missed during that time that I took off. If you don't know about Genshin Impact, which I'm pretty sure it's kind of hard not to if you are a fellow gamer, Genshin Impact is a free-to-play open world action RPG where you get to follow a traveler and explore the world while trying to figure out where your other sibling is, and along the way you try to solve the mysteries and lore of the world of Teyvat. I absolutely love Genshin Impact. I think it's definitely a great game to pick up and play, catch up on the story quests, or catch up on some little fun little dailies here and there, and just drop it and go about your daily business. I don't think it's a game that you should binge, because I used to do that and I got burnt out really quick, which is why I took that long break. I definitely now am pacing myself, taking the time to play it and not succumbing to FOMO. I even made a video about Genshin Impact as well as gacha games and their impact in the gaming industry, which you should definitely check out. But yeah, I sunk a lot of hours. I think the last time I checked on my PSI, which is where I mainly play it, I put in over 100 hours this year alone. Yeah, I've definitely put in a lot of hours, and I probably will continue to put a lot of hours in Genshin Impact. Now the next question is, was there a game you were hyped for but didn't enjoy as much as you hoped? And I definitely did, which is unfortunate. Whenever you play any game, you definitely don't want to go in with it with negative impressions and hoping that it won't do well. But the one game that kind of disappointed me was Dragon's Crown. If you don't know, the developer Vanillaware is the creator of Dragon's Crown, 13 Sentinel Aegis Rim, and more recently Unicorn Overload. I was really looking forward to this game because I absolutely loved my time with 13 Sentinel Aegis Rim. What stands out with Vanillaware is their art style, and they did not disappoint in that department when it came to Dragon's Crown. However, I wasn't really in love with the gameplay and style of it, and the story kind of felt a little lackluster, even though I knew going into it that the story wasn't as strong as their other games, and I know that the combat is more of a side-scrolling action RPG. I just didn't love the grindiness of the game, and I just felt kind of bored and fell out of the game. So I decided, you know what, maybe this isn't for me right now. I could go back into it and play it, but as of right now, I was kind of a little disappointed with this one. So the next question I have is, what was an underrated or lesser known game you loved? And that is without a shadow of a doubt Eastward. Eastward is a really cool indie action RPG that came out, I want to say in 2021. It might be 2022, but I think it's 2021. And I got to starting playing it actually this past month, and I've been absolutely loving my time with it. I know I'm not really finished with the game, but I'm over halfway through, and I know that I'm definitely going to love my time once I finish with it, because I'm already enjoying it now. I love the art style. I love the characters that we got to follow in this cool cyberpunk retro futuristic setting. I just absolutely eat it up when I'm playing this game. I'm just always in awe whenever you go to a new town, meet new characters, and develop more about the setting. In Eastward, we follow these two characters who are protagonists, John and Sam. I definitely want to akin the relationship very similar to Ellie and Joel of Last of Us, but either way, the whole premise of Eastward is that we follow these two characters. We definitely know that at the time, the beginning of the story, that Sam is this very otherworldly being, but we don't know how she became to be and what her impact is into the world that we currently live in. But we follow John, who's just this kind of average run-of-the-mill Joe, who just happens to take care of her, and we follow them through all the shenanigans and mysteries that we go follow through in the story and in the game. And what I love about this game, not only is the art style phenomenal, but the gameplay is really fun and addicting too. There's a lot of fun puzzles, and what's really interesting is that you can play as both John and Sam, which I think is really cool. There'll be certain areas within the game that only John can access, and then you would have to then maybe switch over to Sam to finish the rest of the puzzle or area, which I think is really fun and unique. Both of them also have very different play styles, which is really fun. I absolutely love my time with this game, and I cannot wait to see where it ends. And I'm looking forward to maybe possibly getting to the DLC, which is more of a chill, cozy farming sim game, which is really, really cool. So the next question is, did you play any sequels or remakes that stood out? And I definitely did. This is gonna come to no surprise to many, but the one sequel that I really loved in playing this year was Trails of Cold Steel 2. Now, I loved my time with Trails of Cold Steel 1, but it left on this huge cliffhanger, so I had to play Trails of Cold Steel right away, and it did not disappoint. It was really fun getting to see our Class 7 kind of disperse, but also find their way back to each other, which was really sweet and endearing. If you don't know, in the Trails of the Cold Steel arc, which is set in Arabonia, we get to follow our main protagonist, Reen, and the entirety of Class 7. All have such eccentric and very beautiful personalities that we get to follow. And Trails of Cold Steel 2, like very many other Trails entries, gets to expand more on the lore, the world building, the character development, and overall peak storytelling. I just love my time with the Trails series. I'm really itching to get back into the world of Zemuria. Now that I'm on winter break, I'm definitely going to be going back and picking up Trails of Cold Steel 3. And that is definitely one of my main goals, is to finish that game. Especially with Trails Through Daybreak 2 coming out in February, I definitely want to get back in my work and to continue with my time and my journey in the Trails series. The next question that I have is, was there a moment in a game that made you emotional? And the game that I had to choose was Olympia Soiree, and there's not a particular moment because everything about this game had me emotional. If you don't know, Olympia Soiree is a Tomei visual novel game where its whole premise is that in this world it's divided into a different colored class system, and the colors are your generic coloring colors like red, green, blue, yellow, and whatnot. And in this caste system, the top of the system and the top of the class pyramid is white. Very funny. But either way, what's interesting about the white class is that the only people in the white class are females. However, and they live on a different island compared to the main island. And unfortunately, there was a huge, horrific catastrophe that happened where almost the entirety of the white class was completely offed. There's only one remaining survivor, and it was a little girl, and so she ends up getting rescued and moved to the main island. She lived a very sheltered life on the island, and then she also lived a sheltered life on the main island. But now that she's of age, she is hit with the crazy responsibility of procreating her entirety of her race. So her main goal is to get married and essentially knocked up. Which is weird, but I promise you that the story gets good. So we pretty much follow her, getting to know more about the class system, understanding the world that she lives in, because she's lived a very sheltered life. So you get to follow her, learn, and also meet her suitors along the way, all from different color classes who have different experiences and have their different upbringing. And each suitor had such a compelling and emotional story that definitely had me shedding tears quite often during my playthrough. If you are someone who is a lover of visual novels, loves a good Otome game, or maybe curious, I highly, highly recommend this one. It is a pretty hefty game. I think I put in around 50 or so hours into it. but all the endings, regardless if they're good or bad, are definitely worth seeing through, and I highly recommend this one as well. Next question I have is, what game from this year do you regret not playing? And that is without a shadow of a doubt Metaphor ReFantazio. I know that for many people, friends of mine and other people around the internet have said that Metaphor ReFantazio is probably the best JRPG we've seen in a hot minute, and especially the best RPG or JRPG that came out this year in 2024. Now for me, the only experience that I've had with this game is that I played a bit of the demo, but I didn't get to pick it up until actually quite recently. So I didn't get to play it on release because I just did not have the time to play it, but I've heard such great reviews. I mean, from what I played from the demo, the art style is impeccable, the UI is crazy because hello, this is an Atlas game we're talking about, and of course the characters seemed really endearing and the story seemed really enticing, that I definitely want to take my time to sink my teeth in and to explore that world in that game, and I cannot wait to dabble into it as well. So the next question is, which game will you continue to play next year? And that is Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. Now I picked up this game earlier this year but dropped it. I think is because I wanted to play something else, not because I was losing my interest, because the premise and story was really cool. If you don't know, this particular game is a remake of, I think, the second or third entry of the Fire Emblem franchise. It is set on the 3DS, which is a very interesting dynamic, and as someone who's grown to really love the Fire Emblem franchise, I played almost all of the modern games so far. I played all the 3DS titles except for this one, and I played all the Switch titles, but this one I need to get into because I really loved the dual protagonists and the splitting of how you can play the certain protagonist on their side of the story and another one on their side of the story. And the dungeon crawling aspects was definitely new and definitely different than what I would compare to other Fire Emblem games, and I had a really good time. I definitely need to get back into it, and I know I'll be continuing to play that game for sure next year. The next question I have is, did any indie game leave a lasting impression? And of course I had to say Easterid yet again. I'm absolutely again loving my time with it. All the raves and praises that I said earlier is what I would say again, but I really enjoyed mine this time, and I feel like not many people know about this game, or at least I didn't hear enough people talking about it, and I'm here to talk about it, and I'm here to tell you you should play it for sure. And then the last question that I have is, what game are you most excited to play in the coming year? And I also kind of cheated on this one, and I have multiple because I'm not gonna lie, as stacked as 2024 was, 2025 also looks just as amazing as well. And there are a few games that I want to play. A lot of them are remakes, and then of course we have a new one. The first one being Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I am so excited to finally jump into this world of New LA. I've been wanting to play this game for a long time. It's been stuck on the Wii U for years, and we've just been waiting for Monolith Soft to finally release this and let it be freed from the Wii U jail, and it finally is next year. And it looks honestly amazing with the new added embellishment and polish that this game has to offer. I'm really excited to see how it looks on the Switch as well as how it plays on the Switch, because I'm curious to see if there'll be any features that will be taken out or added or kept from the Wii U that we'll see on the Switch. Again, I'm just really excited to play because I love Monolith Soft games. I love Xenoblade Chronicles, the whole franchise, and I needed to have this for sure in my collection, and it's just gonna look so nice to have all Xenoblade Chronicles games on my shelf. The next game that I want to mention, of course, is another remake, and that's Trails in the Sky remake. When I saw this at the partner showcase this past year, I was so excited for this because there's been rumblings of a remake of this game for a while. We just didn't know when or how it's gonna look, and what we've seen so far is absolutely breathtaking. And as someone who started my journey in the Trails Kiseki series with Trails in the Sky, I'm honestly really looking forward to getting back and seeing the world of Liberl in a more 3D format, and I just cannot wait to see how it all turns out. And the last game that I have that I'm really excited for is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. This was definitely a shocker game that was dropped this past year. It was the trailer or teaser of it was showcased at the Xbox showcase in the summer, and I was completely enamored and shocked by the visuals, the premise, and the story of this game, and it being a Western RPG that kind of incorporates JRPG turn-based elements in it, had me really pulled in. And I'm really curious as to see how this is going to play out. It's coming from a small French indie developer, and this is their first game too. So I'm really, really intrigued and curious to see what's in store. And I'm looking forward in the following year to seeing more teasers, more showcases of this game, and of course a date as well, because I definitely do think this is going to be a day one purchase for me. And with that, that is my end of the year gamer tag. I had a lot of fun with the games that I could play this year. I know I didn't get to complete as many as I would like. I think I completed a total of 12 games this year, which is still a lot for some, but not a lot for me because, again, my schedule was just all over the place. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say if you guys answer these questions. I would love to know how many games you also completed this year as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye!